1. Crossing the event horizon. You are floating in the middle of deep space, right at the edge of a supermassive black hole. In front of you is a giant ball of perfect darkness called the event horizon. Behind you, the light of the entire universe is being squeezed into a small, bright circle. You try to move, but the gravity is so heavy it feels like the floor is pulling your soul. You look at your watch, but the ticking has stopped completely. To the rest of the world, you are frozen in time, but for you, things are about to get weird. You feel a tiny tug on your toes, like someone is pulling on a piece of string. Suddenly, your feet start to stretch out like long, thin pieces of spaghetti. You look down in shock as your legs become 10 meters long, then 100 meters long. This is spaghettification, and there is no way to stop it. Gravity is bending light so much that you can actually see the back of your own head. You try to scream for help, but even your voice is swallowed by the silence. Your body is now a single, glowing line of atoms reaching into the dark. You take one last look at the stars before you slip past the point of no return. You cross the horizon and become a permanent part of the black hole's mystery forever. 2. Surviving a supernova explosion. You are floating in the void, a safe distance from a massive star about to explode. In front of you, the star swells, growing brighter and brighter, like a furnace igniting the entire sky. The light is almost painful, so intense it burns your eyes through your helmet. You try to turn away, but the brilliance follows, stretching across every corner of space. Suddenly, the surface of the star ruptures, sending a shock wave of plasma and energy flying outward. You feel the heat first, a gentle push, then a wave of radiation that makes your skin tingle through the suit. The explosion blossoms behind you like a flower of fire, petals of light and fire racing across the cosmos. You watch in awe as massive clouds of gas and stellar debris twist and dance, forming shapes you cannot name. The light bends around you, warping space and color into a surreal, molten painting of cosmic power. Your heart pounds, yet you float safely, suspended in a moment that no human has ever lived. You take one last look at the star's core before the waves fade into darkness. The supernova becomes a distant glow, a reminder of the violent beauty that exists in the universe, and you survive, alone, tiny, and forever changed. 3. Riding on a comet through the solar system. You are standing on the icy surface of a comet, drifting through the silent darkness of space. Below your feet is a rough landscape of frozen rock and ancient ice that has been traveling for billions of years. Far behind you, the distant sun glows like a small but powerful lantern in the void. As the comet begins to fall inward toward the solar system, the sunlight slowly grows brighter. Tiny cracks in the ice around you begin to hiss as frozen gases wake up after their long sleep. Suddenly, jets of vapor burst from the comet's surface, shooting streams of dust and ice into space. The comet starts growing a long, glowing tail that stretches for millions of kilometers behind you. You hold your balance as the comet races faster and faster toward the inner planets. Ahead of you, the giant shape of Jupiter drifts by, its swirling storms watching silently as you pass. The heat from the sun grows stronger, and the surface beneath you begins to crumble and erupt. Chunks of ice break away and float past you like slow-motion snowballs in zero gravity. For a moment, the entire sky fills with a glowing river of dust and light trailing behind the comet. You look back and see the solar system spread out like a giant map of worlds and orbits. The comet curves around the sun in a blazing arc, moving faster than anything you have ever known. Then slowly, the sun begins to shrink again as the comet escapes back into the deep, cold darkness of space. 4. Teleporting to a parallel universe. You feel a sudden pull in your chest, like gravity itself is twisting reality around you. One moment you are standing on solid ground. The next, everything shimmers and fractures like broken glass. Colors you've never seen stretch across the sky in impossible patterns. You try to step forward, but your foot passes through the floor as if it's made of mist. The air hums with a strange resonance, vibrating in tune with your heartbeat. You reach out to touch a tree, but your fingers pass through its trunk, and yet The trunk's essence seems to hum back at you. The sun rises, but it's not a sun you recognize. Its light bends in strange arcs, painting shadows that move independently of the objects casting them. You hear voices, or maybe echoes of yourself, calling from directions that shouldn't exist. Buildings appear and vanish, folding in on themselves like origami. Streets loop endlessly, creating impossible paths. You glance at your reflection in a puddle, and instead of your face, a dozen versions of you stare back, some smiling, some frightened, some completely alien. Time feels fluid. You blink, and decades pass in a heartbeat. A second stretches into eternity. You try to scream, but sound curves around corners that do not exist, fading before it reaches you. A doorway of shimmering energy appears ahead, and instinctively, you step through. Suddenly, everything snaps into focus. You are somewhere new, somewhere familiar, yet entirely different. You are no longer just an observer. You are part of this alternate reality now, walking a path that no one else has ever seen. For a moment, the universe feels infinite, and your own existence feels like the most extraordinary adventure possible. 5. Traveling at the speed of light. You are standing on Earth, feeling the ground vanish beneath your feet. Suddenly, you lift off, and the atmosphere rushes past in streaks of blue and white. Mountains, rivers, and cities blur beneath you as you pierce the sky. Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Planets spin past like glowing marbles, their rings and storms smeared into brilliant arcs. The sun grows closer, then shrinks behind you, light bending and stretching as you speed onward. Asteroids and comets rush past in sparkling trails, while moons loop around in dizzying dances. Beyond the planets, the black velvet of space opens, dotted with nebulae, star clusters, and distant galaxies streaking by. Time bends, seconds stretch, decades flash in an instant. Particles of light brush past your skin like cosmic rain, your body humming with space-time energy. Black holes twist like spinning wheels, gamma bursts flare, and colors you've never seen swirl across the universe. You try to speak, but only the roar of motion fills your senses. Flying alongside light itself, you feel infinite, unstoppable, and alive. 6. Watching the end of the universe. You are standing on Earth, staring at the sky as the stars begin to flicker unnaturally. A strange force pulls you upward, and before you can react, the ground disappears beneath your feet. You rise into space, watching the blue planet shrink below you. The sun burns brighter for a moment, then suddenly dims. Planets drift silently as their light fades, one by one, swallowed by the growing darkness. You fly farther, beyond the solar system, as distant stars begin to vanish like dying sparks. Galaxies stretch and fade, their shapes dissolving into the black void. Time feels broken. Seconds last forever, yet everything is ending too fast. Black holes drift alone now, slowly evaporating into nothing. You watch the last glow of the universe disappear, leaving only endless darkness. There is no sound, no light, no motion, only silence that feels heavier than gravity. You look around, but there is nothing left to see. Not even space feels real anymore. You feel yourself fading, your body dissolving as reality itself comes apart. For one final moment, you exist in absolute nothingness. And then, even that is gone.